Today's stories are going to be Am I the A-hole stories, and since this is going to be just me talking and no actual recording of me, I'm going to try to make the chair as not squeaky as possible. So let's get right into it. The first one is Am I the a-hole for yelling at my sister for putting her phone on Do Not Disturb and leaving her first grader at school without picking him up? Today at 4 p.m., my nephew's elementary school called me. He's 7 years old and in first grade. He had been left at school for about 40 minutes after dismissal, and the office said they couldn't reach anyone on his emergency contact list. They asked if I could get in touch with his parents, my sister and her husband. I tried calling both of them, but their phones were on Do Not Disturb. The calls would ring once and go straight to voicemail, which was odd because their phones usually ring a few times before going to voicemail. Since neither of them was reachable, I got concerned and decided to go pick up my nephew myself. While I was on my way, I kept trying to call my sister. She finally called back about 90 minutes after when the school first tried to reach her, saying she and her husband had just been napping. I was furious. It felt incredibly irresponsible for them to leave their child stranded at school and silence their phones, especially as parents of a young child and a toddler. Her excuse was that her husband had asked his grandparents to pick up my nephew, but there was a miscommunication. I told her that even if that was the plan, she shouldn't have put her phone on Do Not Disturb because emergencies like this can happen. Her response shocked me. She said she likes putting her phone on Do Not Disturb during naps, and if I was going to react this way, she would remove me from my nephew's emergency contact list. She also added that I was the last contact on the list anyway because her in laws, the grandparents, were listed first. She then accused me of overreacting, saying that normal people wouldn't get angry about something like this. She even mentioned that she's made a lot of new friends this year and now understands how normal people act. I found this insulting because I was the only one responsible enough to answer the school's call and make sure her child was safe. She continued justifying herself, saying it's normal for people to not answer their phones if they're busy at work or in meetings. She insisted that having her phone on Do Not Disturb was necessary because she naps with her toddler and needs complete silence. By the end of the conversation, she tried to make me feel like I was in the wrong for being upset. She said I had a right to be concerned, but no right to be angry or yell at her. She then added that she doesn't like spending time with family because there's always an argument when she talks to us. This left me completely baffled. Instead of showing any gratitude for my help, she threw backhanded insults at me, even though I was the one who ensured her child's safety. Her reaction made me question whether I was wrong to be upset, but I still feel her behavior was irresponsible and ungrateful. So I went to the comments and they pretty much all agree with what I was thinking. Um, when you're a parent, the days of Do Not Disturb are done. You vibrate at the very least because your child comes first, uh, and that's all that there is to it. I've not had the luxury of putting my phone on Do Not Disturb for over 16 years now. Don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb because emergencies can happen at any moment. What if this kid had some kind of medical emergency and they were trying to get a hold of the mom? What if something unplanned happened? You should not have your phone on Do Not Disturb, okay? And the mom and the dad need to realize that. You could be napping and something could be happening. And no, nothing's going to happen every single day that that child leaves the house, but just in case, leave your phone on. Next story. This next story is Am I the a-hole for refusing to make Starbucks drinks for my family on Thanksgiving? I, 28 female, worked at Starbucks for a little over 2 years, and ever since then, my family has loved asking me to recreate their favorite drinks at home. I don't mind doing it once in a while, but it's not exactly my favorite thing, especially because I don't have all the equipment or supplies that Starbucks has. This Thanksgiving, my mom hosted dinner and invited a bunch of extended family. After we finished eating, she casually announced, "Okay, everyone, my name will be making Starbucks drinks for dessert." I was totally blindsided. Apparently, she had bought a bunch of syrups, whipped cream, and even a little espresso machine just for this. When I said I didn't really feel like making drinks for 15 plus people, my mom got super annoyed and said, "It's not that hard for you. You used to do this all the time at work." A few of my cousins started chiming in too, saying it would be fun and that they'd help. But I didn't come to Thanksgiving to play barista for the whole family, so I stood my ground. Now my mom is upset, saying I embarrassed her after she went out of her way to buy all of the supplies. Some of my family thinks I was being selfish and that it wouldn't have taken long, but I just wanted to enjoy the holiday, not work for it. Am I the a-hole? So I'm definitely going to go no, not the a-hole on this one. Um, just because you used to work somewhere and that you can make these drinks doesn't mean that you want to all the time. And she even said she didn't want to. She just wanted to enjoy being with her family and, like, relax for the holiday. And also, I have an espresso maker. It is not the same as the espresso makers that are at Starbucks. Okay. Now, mine is fairly decent. I got it for my birthday from my boyfriend and the kids. All got together and got Mama an espresso maker that has like the foamer and everything on the side. But it takes some time to make one latte. It is not the same power of steamer that is on a Starbucks drink. So I'm going to be honest with filling the pot with coffee. I have to grind the coffee a little extra with the coffee grinder, fill the pod. I'm the kind of person where I'm rinsing as I go. So I fill the coffee, the coffee pod thing, and make the espresso, and then I'll go dump it out and rinse it and clean it later. But I'm getting all the chunks off as I go, and then once you get to the part where you have to steam the milk, it actually takes some time. And with all of that combined, I'll say it takes me about a good 3, 4, and depending on how complicated I'm making it, sometimes even 5 minutes just to make one drink for myself. Now, times that by 15, 20 people, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. Hold on. Let's go to the calculator. That is an hour and almost 40 minutes of making drinks. Almost 2 whole hours of making drinks if it were just 20 people. Why would you want to do that after you just had this big old Thanksgiving meal and everything like that? Now, I saw in some of the comments and things like that, the mom should have at least asked, and I definitely agree with that. But that is a big ask on Thanksgiving when everybody's supposed to just be, relaxing, enjoying the food, and coming together. You should have asked. That's it. You should have asked. Next story. By the way, when I'm saying next story, I'm still pointing at the microphone like I'm filming myself. Like y'all can actually see me pointing at this daggone microphone. This story is, am I the a-hole for refusing to use my mom's ring in my engagement ring? My 28 boyfriend and I, 23, have talked about designing our own rings for our future engagement. Recently, my mom offered to give us her ring from her marriage to my dad to melt down and incorporate into mine. I refused. Her marriage to my dad was filled with negativity. She had a midlife crisis and cheated, and my dad wasn't a saint either. He struggled with alcohol abuse the entire time. Their relationship was toxic and ultimately ended badly. To me, their ring is a symbol of that failed marriage, and I don't want to carry that energy into my future with my partner. I want our rings to represent a fresh, positive start. My mom didn't take it well. She thinks I'm being disrespectful and sentimental about the wrong things. She argues that it's just a ring and sees it as a meaningful gesture to pass down. Am I the a hole for refusing? And no, I don't think the person is the a hole for refusing. If you don't want that, that bad juju to follow you from, the marriage that it represented. I mean, at the very, very least, like she's going to be wearing that ring, knowing that the materials came from that bad marriage. So that could color the way that she thinks about it. So whether bad juju is real or not, those thoughts will still be there because she will still be thinking about it. And that might create unnecessary situations because, she's carrying that around with her. This is talking about, abuse and the things that her mom did and things like that. I wouldn't want that in my ring to signify my marriage. All right, so that ended kind of weirdly. um, Thanks for anyone who has stayed this far to listen. Thanks for putting up with my no no video. I'm just trying to get these out, kind of set myself back, with everything that happened before I was supposed to do some filming today. Uh, if you didn't see my video yesterday, I batch record and my battery died in my car as I was going to the store to go get something. So that kind of threw a whole monkey wrench into my plans, but I still wanted to get some videos out, stay consistent for you guys. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks for staying to listen. Again, my name is Kelly. Like, comment, and subscribe, and bye!